Hello, everyone, and welcome to this first video of a short series of videos where we will be discussing how to design embroidery files in Melco Design Shop for use on our Melco embroidery machine. So first, we're going to start off by opening Design Shop. And today we're just going to talk about how to transform a basic JPEG or PNG image into an actual .ofm embroidery file that is usable on our Melco embroidery machine. So first, we're going to start by opening up our file actually in Adobe Illustrator. It's always best to try digitizing by going through Adobe Illustrator first, because if you try to pull a JPEG directly into Design Shop and convert it, it's not going to turn out very well. So Adobe Illustrator is what we recommend here at the Hive. So you start by opening up Adobe Illustrator. Let that open. Okay. And I'm going to open up my JPEG file, and we're going to do this Charmander right here. So seemingly a relatively complex design. There's a lot of colors happening, a lot of different shapes. This isn't something we would want to spend time manually drawing all the lines for. So what instead we can do is an image trace here in Adobe Illustrator. So I'm going to click on the image, go over to image trace, and from what I've practiced, the best image trace setting is 16 colors. This also is great for our embroidery machine because it is a 16 thread embroidery machine. So I'm going to click 16 colors. It's going to do the image trace. And once it's done, you might see the image change very slightly, but it really shouldn't change all that much. And then now we can save this as a .emf file. It's always best when you're going from Adobe Illustrator into the Melco Design Shop software that you export as a .emf file. It'll be much better when you are trying to convert this image to stitches. If you're taking a file like an SVG from software such as Figma, that could also work, but this we know for sure works if you just take this .emf file. So I'm going to go to File, Export, Export As, and I'm going to export Charmander EMF. I've already got one here, so I'm just going to copy over that so that we can save this here. Okay, so now we've saved our .emf file, and we are ready to import it in Melco Design Shop. So I'm going to go File, Insert on our new project, and I'm going to select our charmander.emf. There's no preview here just yet, but that is the file we want. And I'm going to click Open. And what you'll see is just your image pop up, but you're not going to see any stitches just yet. That's because we haven't converted this vector image into stitches. So to do that, you just have to click the convert button right up here. So I'm going to click that. It's going to take a couple of seconds and convert everything to stitches. And now you can see we've got all of these different stitches showing up. If I want to actually see the stitches in 3D, because I can't really see them right now, I'm going to go up to this button that says Show Stitches in 3D. Click that, and now it actually looks like what it'll look like on a piece of fabric. So this actually converted very well. There's no random lines showing up. Sometimes when you do convert something, you can have random lines. Your shape might be a little misshapen, and then you might have to go in and edit it a little bit. And we'll show how to do that in a future video. But for now, the last thing we'd probably like to do is remove this white background because we're probably not going to embroider that onto our fabric itself. So we're just going to select the white background, drag it off to the side, click delete, and it's gone. We can still see the white background from our image, but that's just our image. There are no stitches there. So if we go over into our project tree here, we've got two different broad menus. We've got this Charmander menu, which is actually our design on the image. So there are no stitches that exist in all of these little vector graphics. These are actually part of the image itself. And then under the design tab, where we have these numbers, these are actually what contain the stitches. So what I can do is actually just toggle this little eyeball here, and it'll remove the image from view so that we can just focus on the design. So we have our design ready to go. It looks good. And the last thing that you're going to want to do is, to make your job easier, try to combine a lot of these colors together. So we have 53 different steps here. That's 53 different times that the needle is going to change from one color to another. So we want to try to reduce that as much as possible. When you try to bring this over into the Melco OS software to start embroidering it, you'll find that you have to select each color that you're using in each of these 53 colors that you're using and assign it to an individual thread. You could do that, but it's a long and taxing process, and you probably don't want to have to do that. You'll also notice that we are limited to 16 colors, yes, but in Adobe may have chosen two different shades of orange that are pretty close to each other, but are actually distinctly different colors. And the software here is recognizing them as different colors. But in reality, we can use the same shade of orange thread on our machine. So we can change the colors of some of these. So first thing I want to do is make sure that this auto merge color blocks is selected. It is selected. What that's going to do is whenever I drag two of items in this list of the same color together, it's going to combine them into a single element, which is what we want to do. We want to combine as many elements as possible and reduce this entire thing to something in the teens, hopefully. Something that'll be helpful for this is you could see these are the RGB values of our colors. So that'll help us differentiate what colors are different and which are the same. So for instance, I've got a lot of 242, 135, 33s. So I'm going to try and drag those together. So here's a 242, 135, 33. Drag that up below this one, and you can see it combines them into one. So that's perfect. Let's continue doing that with this one. And are there any others? I don't see any others. Oh, here's one. We'll just drag this entire thing up here. That'll combine those. Let's see. We've got this 26. We see it's very slightly different from color 25, but like by 2 RGB points. So I want to change this color to match my other oranges. So we just need to choose one that I want them all to be. So let's say I want all of my oranges to be this 244, 136, 33. So I'm going to select every orange that's not that. So let's combine these together because they're the same. Let's select every orange that is not 244, 136, 33 by holding the control button. Oops. Select that, this, these, and just about all of these. And I'm going to right click on one of them, go to color, and then in this color chart, I'm going to select system RGB color, and that's going to allow me to type in a specific RGB color. And now I want them to be 244, 136, 33. Perfect. We got that orange. I'm going to hit OK. Now they are all that color, and I'm going to take them and I'm going to drag them. Oops. Well, one at a time, I guess. I'm going to take them and I'm going to drag it up here, and you can see it's combining all of them. So let's see if I can take multiple of these. Yeah, we can do that. So selecting all the oranges that are now identical, and as long as they are dragged to be side by side next to each other, they will combine into a single element, and that's going to make our life easier a lot later. So perfect. We've got that. It seems we only have one pink in here. Actually, we have a second pink, but I think these are both supposed to be a little different because we want that contrast on the mouth there. So we'll leave those as is. The other thing is the color black. We've got several different shades of black here, but we really just need one. Instead of typing in the RGB value, I can just select all of these colors and assign them to just the generic system black. So let's do that. I'm going to select all of those, right click, color. And then instead of system RGB color, I could select a color down in these, rayon or whatever. These are just different color lists. And I can scroll to find a black color that I like, select that, and there we go. So now they are all the same, and I'm going to drag these together so that we can get a single combined object. Perfect. Okay. And next up, we would do that with these others. I'm not going to do it right now, but basically you get the gist. Try to reduce this as much as possible so that assigning colors in the Melco OS software is a lot simpler. All right, I just wanted to pause the video real quick and let you know something that I forgot to mention when I first recorded this video, and that's that all of the colors and the stitches that you see to your right are actually appearing in the order that they're going to be sewn, and that's what the numbers represent. It's the order that they are going to be sewn in. So you might want to move things around depending on your design. In general, sewing order is important when you're embroidering. You generally want to sew any interior items first and then move outward. And also, if you have outline stitches like we have here on the Charmander, or any sort of perimeter lines, you want those to be sewn last because they're meant to appear on top of any fill stitches that you have. So in this case, when we're doing the Charmander, it's probably going to be in our best interest to sew the lighter colored chest region first, then move on to the orange, then do any fills that appear, so holes like the eyes, the mouth. We could probably do the flaming tail at any time. And then the very last thing we would want to do is that black outline because we want it to kind of sit on top of our other stitches. If we don't do that, then the orange stitches are going to generally cover it up, and that's not what we want. So basically what I'm saying is it may not always be in your best interest to do all of the color combining that we did. You may want to keep certain objects separate and have them as their own item in the list so that they get sewn at the appropriate time. So just keep that in mind as you're moving forward with your embroidery designs. All right, this concludes this video, and we'll see you at the next one.